A lot of players dream of creating a forever world in Minecraft, but let's be honest, most worlds barely pass the 2-week mark. But why do we quit? For me, it can be explained with one word: rushing. Most of us follow the same path when playing. We go from wood to stone to iron to diamond and finally to netherite. We set up villager trading, we beat the ender dragon, we get an elytra, and we do all that in the span of a few hours. In this video though, I'll prove to you, you don't need a mega base or netherite tools to enjoy the game. The only thing you need is you. Welcome to the 1 year, 1 world Minecraft project, where I'm committing to one world for an entire year with absolutely no rushing. Each stage of progression is locked behind a full month, so no beating the game in 2 hours, just taking it slow and experiencing the Minecraft journey you might not have imagined. By the end of this video, I'll have shown you everything that can be done without even a single piece of iron. January. I loaded into the world ready to start a new journey. I began in a bamboo forest, but something feels like it's missing. Much better. I decided to chop down the first tree I saw. That tree happened to be a massive jungle tree. Not one to back down from a challenge though, I chopped it down, yes, the entire thing, with wooden tools. Now chopping down this tree quickly taught me 2 valuable lessons that would shape the next 2 months. Firstly, your tools have no durability. I broke 2 entire axes breaking down a single tree, and the sound of these broken tools leaves me shell-shocked. Secondly, breaking stuff takes forever. Oh my gosh, it took half a day to break down a single tree. Since I spawned in a bamboo forest, I decided, hey, I might as well try out the new bamboo wood since it's a block I hadn't really built with before. I then made a bamboo block and never used it again. I then adventured around for a bit and realized that my spawn is actually really good. I had access to almost every type of wood, so I got oak, dark oak, birch, pale oak, and jungle saplings. I found the best strategy was to cut down the trees for wood, then break the remaining leaves with a hoe for saplings. This is a side note here, but I don't know if this is placebo, but I swear when leaves decompose naturally, they give you more saplings than they do when you break them. After this, I came across a nether portal, but unfortunately, I can't access the nether until September, so I'm just gonna leave that there for now. Oh yeah, while we're on the topic, I might as well explain the premise in greater detail. For the month of January, I'm allowing myself to use only basic materials, so dirt, wood, anything I can really find on the surface. Only allowing myself wooden tools too. And a fun rule I decided to add was that I cannot use, mine, or enter something or somewhere unless I've unlocked it. So, I can't mine stone. Like at all. I'm sure that won't have any future repercussions. Hey look, it's future repercussions. Now a fun thing about, not having access to stone is that you need to eat raw human flesh to survive, which as you might imagine, tastes pretty bad and isn't very nutritious. Food quickly became a massive issue for me, so to rectify that, I prepared to make a farm. To have a working farm in Minecraft, you'll need 3 things: water, seeds, and farmland. I broke as much grass and dirt as I could to get the seeds and farmland, but funnily enough, the tricky part's the water. Normally people just use a bucket for an infinite source block, but remember, that's not an option for me. So instead of bringing the water to the farm, I brought the farm to the water. I decided to explore and find the perfect spot to start farming. During my first few nights, storage was really becoming an issue, so I decided to craft a really underrated item, the bundle. People really don't give this item enough credit because it's actually really useful. After having explored for a few days, I found this great spot to settle down. Having gathered dirt, seeds, and now water, I finally had all the materials to make a farm. For my first house, I decided to go with the tried and true hole in the dirt. I expanded my hole in the dirt to turn into a more or less hobbit hole. The further in I got, the more light became an issue, so I decided to make this cool natural skylight. And an unfortunate side effect of not being able to mine stone or coal is that the floor looks really ugly. Or maybe I'm just a bad builder. Probably both are contributing factors. As the month came to a close, I decided to finish it off by expanding my wood collection. I spotted a local savanna and took a trip there. I got some acacia saplings, meaning that I had almost all the wood in the game. I also turned off my shaders and decided to stick with it because, while they do look nice, I could really see so much more without them, and I think that it makes for a better viewing experience for the audience. but you guys can let me know about that. I returned home that night and went to bed. As I slept, I felt somewhat accomplished. This month I'd made a shelter, a farm, and got most of the wood types. But while I'd done a lot, I was only getting started. It was the dawn of the new month that morning, and new month means new stuff. February meant that I could use stone and coal, so I immediately got to work making use of my new resources. I mined up the floor and I made a full set of stone tools. For this month, I had 3 goals: expand the house, expand the farm, and explore the surrounding area. I began to work on the first 2 by expanding the house. Since my house was not really a house, but more just a hole in the dirt, the more I expanded it, the more dirt I got to build the farm. Since I decided to make my house out of wood, I'd need a constant stream of logs if I wanted to expand it. So I got to planting a few trees for a farm. Right now it's nothing fancy, but it works, and I'll make it better in the future. After that, I decided to put all my old tools inside a chest and keep them for nostalgia's sake. Now with that set up, I used my insane amounts of dirt to expand the farm. I want to make sort of like a dirt bridge connecting the 2 sides of the river, and after a good bit of bridging, I found a problem. A huge problem. For some reason, I settled directly in front of an ocean monument, meaning that guardians would constantly attack me while I bridged, and I wouldn't even be able to clear out the structure until August, another 6 months from now. So yeah, that left me with 2 options. I could either go around the guardians, or I could say screw the guardians and go straight through. I chose option 3, run away and let future me fix the issue. I then decided it was time for a massive base expansion. I made a bedroom, a furnace room, some cool pillars, and this dog painting. Also, I found some iron in my floor, and normally that's just a fun little bonus, you know, a little bit of extra iron you get for free. But oh no, here I have to cover it up with a carpet for 2 months. Now, I haven't really had time to play Minecraft Survival since Mounts of Mayhem, and I've gotta say, shelves are awesome. Combined with trapdoors, they look so good. The only problem is that they are ridiculously expensive, needing a bunch of stripped wood. So my days look like this: wake up, cut down trees, strip the logs, forget to collect the saplings, and make my house better, sleep, and repeat. And eventually this lack of sapling collecting would catch up to me. One day I tried to replant my pale oak tree and I had to go back to the pale garden to get more saplings. When making my way to the Pale Garden, I ran into these funny guys, which I found are usually pretty dangerous, but since I was in the water, they were actually really easy to defeat. I then made my way up the mountain to the garden, where I broke down the first tree I could. A fun fact about this biome that I learned is that music doesn't play when you're in the biome. Another fun fact about the biome is that it's the only place where the Creaking spawns, so it was not a very pleasant experience fighting off hordes of enemies while staring down literal Slendermen, but I got my wood, and while I was there, I got resin I have no clue what resin does, besides make armor trims. Finally, I got back home and decided to do everyone's favorite high cortisol mechanic: fishing. Just riveting gameplay right here. All jokes aside though, it's actually very calming, and I managed to get a cool fishing rod out of it, with 6 durability. But I also got enough pufferfish to tame the new Nautilus mob, and these guys are sick. They let you breathe underwater indefinitely while riding them. So of course I had to try fishing underwater, and that works. You could fish underwater. It's so cool. So I decided that was enough for the night and turned off my recording. I thought I'd just do some off-camera fishing for a bit with nothing interesting happening. So while I turned off my camera, the Nautilus ended up beaching himself like a whale on the shore and suffocating, and I didn't capture it. Thank you, Minecraft. Finally, I finished the month off by making a cool nature shrine with my leftover stone and granite. And that is all for the first 2 months of this project. I made a gigantic farm, a base, explored my surroundings. I went on an underwater fishing trip. I got a pet crustacean and then lost him. And I did all that despite not having a single piece of iron. I hope I managed to prove to you that you don't need to rush your worlds in Minecraft. Thank you so much for watching. If you couldn't tell, this video was inspired by Thorbjorn's series, which is the same thing but in Terraria. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe and follow the journey because I'm looking forward to spending it with you.